Good afternoon and welcome guys. Welcome to the session on short tips for cracking the WAT. Today we are going to talk about some short tips that will help you overcome any issues, any problems that you will help while facing the written aptitude test at the B school admission process. Now most B schools, as you guys know, have started using the written aptitude test as a part of their admission process. Now this is a relatively new exercise and many students struggle with the do's and don'ts for the WAT, right? So now I will take you through a few short tips on how to handle the WAT. The WAT is supposed to judge a student's writing ability, content depth, and the ability to structure thoughts in a logical and flowing fashion. Now while content, most of you will be preparing for your other processes like the PI and the GDs as well, but we have not written essays in a very long time. I think most students would have not written essays after school. So now this is going to be a real challenge. How do you present your thoughts or present your content in a presentable written format? How do you recall your grammar? How do you make sure your sentences are well presented, well thought out, right? So writing in a crisp format, writing in an error-free format is a major challenge in the WAT according to me, right? Now, before I share with you the tips on how to handle a WAT, I would like you to take this opportunity and write an essay immediately right now. So please take an A4 size sheet, okay, and a pen and write an essay. I will give you a topic, okay, pause this video and write an essay for 20 minutes. So the time limit given to you is 20 minutes. The word limit given to you is one A4 size sheet, so which is about 250 words. Okay. Now please write an essay using the best of your content and as per you the best way it should be presented. I am giving you more than ample time. Please use this time well. Okay. So if you are ready with your pen and paper, please note down the essay topic and then pause the video immediately after that. Once you have finished writing your essay, please rejoin the video again. Your essay topic is Indian of the year 2016. Please write a 250 word essay on the topic Indian of the year 2016. Give yourself 20 minutes, pause the video right here and then join the video again after you have composed your essay. Welcome back guys. Now after having written this essay, I am sure some of you will have a few points going on in your mind. Some of you might have thought that I did not know enough content about enough people to give justification to the choice. Some of you may have decided on the Indian of the year in advance and then wrote your entire essay around that one person. Others may have felt overall I have done a good job, but I am not very sure it's the best I could do. I could do better than this. Some of you may have finished off very early, so there might have been 10 or maybe 7-8 minutes to go and you might have finished off your essay. Some of you might have started off very late and overshot your 20-minute time frame. So there might have been different problems or different areas going on in your mind, and I'm sure some of you are wondering at this stage, how should I place different thoughts in my essay? What should appear in the beginning, what should appear in the middle, and then what should appear at the end? How should I start the essay? What is a good start? What is the good way to finish such an essay? So these are all the points that we will go through now and then try and solve your issues. Now, the first is content. I'm sure some of you might have felt that I did not know a lot of information about many candidates. For example, I'm sure some of you might have thought of Narendra Modi as one option. Some of you might have thought of PV Sindhu. Some of you might have thought of Amir Khan maybe, or you might have thought of Mukesh Ambani, or maybe you thought of Cyrus Mistry. So I don't know from which field you were thinking, but I'm sure there must have been multiple people who made an impact in the year going through your mind. At the same time, you probably did not know enough about all of them. Therefore, you concentrated your essay on maybe a couple of them on which you had a fair idea, right? So how do you bring strength to your content? How do you prepare knowledge of all these people and all these points? Now, first I'll tell you what content means. So when I say content, what does it mean? Now, according to me, content is not just knowing the facts of an issue. For example, talk to you about the launch of Reliance Jio. It is not just the facts that you should know about. You should know the facts of the case, the chronology of events as it happened. You should also know the statistics and the data pertaining to the case. And you must also know the opinions of the event. So there will be people who say that Reliance Jio has brought a positive change to the telecom industry in India. There will be others who say that Reliance Jio is destroying the telecom industry. So there will be opinions on both sides of every picture. Every content, every current affair will have pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages, people in favor and people against. You must have a good idea, a good number of strong points on both sides. It is very, very important. It shows a person who can analyze impartially. Okay, so you must build strong content points on both sides of the picture. You must write all these points of the topic in a rough register in order to remember. Now, a lot of students keep on telling me that, sir, I want to do current affairs, I want to build content, but I read stuff and then a couple of days later I forget it. And which is a very natural and a very normal thing to happen. And my advice to that is that you must write down stuff. Science has also proved that the connect between our memory and the written word is much stronger than by just reading and trying to remember it. Right? So our retaining of knowledge or a retaining of data goes up exponentially if we write down the same stuff. So please write down the content points you want to learn, and that will help you retain a lot more. At the same time, if you don't know the content of any topic, please at any cost, in any situation, don't bluff content. Don't bluff data. It is the worst thing that you can do in your essay. Right? So please note down, you must be very strong on your content preparation in terms of facts, in terms of statistics and data, and in terms of the pros and cons, both sides of the picture, opinions. Must have very strong content points on all 3 points. A lot of us talk about how do we start essays. Now, a good way to start an essay is to use a quotation. Okay? It is a useful and it will give you good points if you write your essay starting with a quotation. However, there are a few disclaimers here. First of all, the quotation should be relevant to the topic at hand. Just randomly picking up quotations and adding them in any essay will not work in your favor. You must make sure that the quotation should be absolutely relevant to the topic at hand, right? You should quote it precisely. It must be verbatim quoted along with the author or the person who has said this. It must be quoted, the quotation with the author. Okay? So please make sure you remember it verbatim, else don't quote it. Okay? And the third, how do you do this? You can do it very easily if you just go to Google and type business quotes and then pick up any 2 business quotes, preferably from famous people, and try and remember them. Then say socio-cultural quotes. Again, pick up any 2 famous quotes, remember them. Then say historical quotes, or you say religious quotes, or you say international quotes. You just pick up quotes from all these areas, 2 from technology, 2 from socio-culture, 2 from business and economy, and then remember these 10-12 quotes. And I'm sure you'll find in most essay topics, in most situations, some of these will come in handy. So these 10-12 quotes that you remember will apply to a lot of essay topics. So be smart about this preparation. You will not be able to remember n number of quotes, but you can remember 10 to 12 quotes and then apply them in 90% of your WAT topics. So please be very smart about this preparation. When you are given an essay topic, you must spend the first couple of minutes or the first 3 to 4 minutes just thinking and brainstorming for ideas. Okay? A lot of times we write essays and then later on we remember something that could have been added and we didn't do it. Why did that happen? Because it did not strike us at that point. Right? So try and use brainstorming techniques, acronyms to help you remember stuff and to generate ideas. You can use acronyms which I am suggesting here, or you can use any one of your own choice also. The purpose of using acronyms is to help you remember things. So for example, if I were to use the acronym given here, spelt here, I will say, okay, Indian of the year 2016. Is there any person from S socio-cultural issues or socio-cultural environment who has done something remarkable this year? It could be Kanhaiya. Is there anybody from the political sphere? Could be Narendra Modi. Is there somebody from the economic sphere? Now that could be Mukesh Ambani. Is there somebody from the legal sphere, right, who has done something remarkable this year? Any remarkable judgment which has changed the way India is functioning or at the international level? Is there somebody in technology who has created something new or discovered something new this year? Historically, is there somebody who I can think of who has influenced the events of this year? International person, so it could be Donald Trump for that matter, right? It could be Janet Yellen, right? It could be anybody from Europe, right? It could be the Chinese premier. So who do you think internationally has done very well here, or religiously? So social, political, economic, legal, technological, historical, international, religious. You think from all of these spheres and you get ideas. You remember stuff of important people who have done important stuff this year, right? And those could be your candidates for the person of the year, the Indian of the year, right? So this is just an idea. This is just an acronym to help you remember stuff which you may not immediately, right? So you can use this acronym, or maybe you can use Pop Beans or any other acronym and try, and it can help you to remember stuff, right? So that is how you can use acronyms to generate ideas and brainstorm. Okay. Sometimes students come and ask me, I did not know anything about a certain topic. Now that would be a very rare situation if you are preparing and you are preparing hard. I don't think there would be many current affairs topic which would completely surprise you. Okay. Having said that, in case that happens, right? So suppose you get a topic on Agni 5, the missile which has just been tested by India. So Agni 5. So now you know absolutely nothing about the topic, assume. What would you do in that case? Still make sure that the structure of essay writing that I have suggested in earlier videos, please make sure that structure is followed, as well as please make sure that you write a generic, good sounding essay in short, crisp sentences without mentioning any data or statistics. So you can write about India's defense policy. You can write about India's procurement policy as per the budget, right? So the defense procurement layout, right? So you can write about generic stuff without mentioning the specific issue or specific statistics related to Agni 5. Right, so then you get a fair essay. You don't get a great essay even then, but you get a fair, acceptable essay because the structure is good and the points are generic in nature about India's defense policy. So then that makes a fair essay. Please make sure that you indent your paragraphs in every essay you write. This is very, very important. Sometimes students forget indentation and the whole thing looks like one rambling piece. Your paragraph should be absolutely clear and coherent. People should look and realize, acha, this is a new paragraph starting. So therefore, people can read it more easily, understand it more easily. So your indentation is a must. Please make sure you vary your sentence length. The longer the sentence, the less readable it becomes. Any sentence should not be more than 2 to 3 lines. That's a thumb rule. So the shorter sentences are better. Crisp, to the point sentences always get you more marks. Please avoid using any sentences containing rhetoric. So that is sentences ending with a question mark or an exclamation mark should be avoided. Please avoid philosophy. Please avoid personal views, personal remarks or any personal criticism about anybody. Please avoid these things. In case you're writing a case study based essay, as we have discussed in earlier videos, please try and use management terminology. Terminology frequently used in management. These will help you write good essays. Try and use the space given to the optimum level. So if you are given a single A4 size sheet as I just gave you, please make sure that you are not exceeding this space at any cost. Instead of writing in the margins and the borders on the sides and at the bottom, you can try and use the complete space. And the second best is you can leave a couple of lines at the end, but at no cost should you exceed the space given. Okay, so please make sure that you adhere to the space rules. Your default essay writing style in a B school WAT is third person style. In exceptional cases, as I have discussed in earlier videos, you can also write first person style, but that is rare. You should not write it normally. There should be no quotations in the body of the essay. As I was just telling you about quotations a couple of minutes back, quotations should only be used to start an essay and the introduction part of the essay, not in the body under any circumstances. Finally, you must review your essay towards the end. After you have written your essay, in the last couple of minutes, you must spend some time reviewing the essay in terms of major errors or any clerical omissions or any errors which are there. At this point, you must trade off between making an overwriting or a cutting versus the degree of the error. How gravely is the error going to affect the thought or the theme of your essay. So there is a trade-off which you must play at this stage, and if the mistake is small, please don't make a cutting overwriting. In case the mistake is grave, it changes the whole meaning of your essay, please do the cutting and overwriting and change it at that time. So you must spare a minute or two at the end to review your essay, right? So these are some of the major must-know tips, short tips which will help you crack your WAT process. For more such ideas, more such tips and topics, please visit hitbullseye.com.